All right, guys. UFC 327 is here. I'd make a video about the last one, the Apex card, because honestly, who cares? Like, it's an Apex card. Who nobody cares. I can't be bothered to do anything about it. Um, but this is a great pay-per-view. A lot of good fights. Had a title fight canceled. Van versus Tyra. That would have been a fun fight, but it's rescheduled, so we didn't lose it forever. It's not a big deal. Just don't get it tomorrow night. But first up on the prelims, we got Radke versus Prado. I'm going with Radke. Prado's on a bit of a skid. He's probably going to get cut after this if he loses. And I just don't rate Prado. He has some fun wins against Cans, but I think Radke's he's actually solid. Like he's not good, but he's not bad either. And I don't think Prado can beat someone who is not bad. So we're gonna go with him. And then next up we got Battle of Potential. Battle of Potential. Kelvin Gastelum. He could. People forget, man. He could have beat Israel Adesanya if he didn't shoot a stupid takedown. People forget, man. People forget. But and then Luque, he's also Mr. Potential. He could have gone on a good run, but uh, he just kind of fizzled out. I think he had a weight miss, and that kind of slowed his momentum. And now he's out here getting subbed by Kevin Holland. Now he's fighting Kelvin Taco Truck Gaslam on the prelims. So fall from grace for both these guys. Um, I think Kelvin Gaslam's winning this. In his last fight against Joe Pyfer, he actually looked solid. I mean, as we know, Pyfer knocked out Adesanya, and Luque is not going to hit as hard as Pyfer. Gaslam, he lost it pretty handily, but at the same time, he didn't get railed. Like he didn't get steamrolled. He had some moments where he looked like he was taking over. He had some good shots. And Luque, I don't he he's a welterweight moving up, so he's not as strong as Pyfer. Doesn't have as good wrestling. Nowhere near the power. And I think Gaslam just I wouldn't call him a natural middleweight. The guy should be a lightweight if he would go on a diet, but whatever. I just think Gaslam more experience at the weight class, bigger, stronger, better chin. I'm saying bigger, stronger as if this is a good fighter. Neither of these guys are very good, but I think Gaslam is less bad. And Luque probably should call it quits soon. I don't know what's left for him. Gaslam, I imagine this is going to be one of his last wins, assuming he wins this. Like these guys are both washed, but it's whatever. I think it should be a fun fight regardless. And then so next up we got Medeiros versus Padilla. This is a sneaky good fight. Sneaky good fight. These aren't really big names. I don't think many people know these guys. So I think this is gonna be a good introduction on a big pay-per-view. Uh, Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea who's gonna win. I'm gonna go with Medeiros. For no reason. I don't really know any of these guys. I've heard the name, but I don't know how good they are. So whatever. Tatiana Suarez versus Lupi Godinez. I'm going Tatiana Suarez. They call her Lady Khabib, and also I just don't rate Lupi Godinez. Like, I don't think she's that good. She's tough. She's a dog. She's a fun fighter, but I don't think she's good. I think Suarez is just gonna smudge her for 3 rounds and get like a 29-28, 30-27 type thing just from smudging her the whole time. Like I don't think Godinez really has anything for her. I mean, she could beat her on the feet because Suarez kind of has that Ronda Rousey stand-up game, but I don't think it's going to be on the feet. I think Suarez is just going to smudge her for all 3 rounds. Next up, We got Scamrot versus Ribovics. I want Esteban to win so badly. I really do. He's one of my favorite fighters. The dude is so fun. He's so cool. He slimed out Terrence McKinney. Terrence McKinney. He made Terrence McKinney fent lean in the octagon. Like, it was a ridiculous knockout. And then Gamrot, he's Gamrot, dude. He just, it's going to be a Tatiana Suarez smudge fest and Gamrot smudge fest back to back. It's going to suck. This is definitely going to be the low point on the card, in my opinion. Um, I want Ribovics to win, but I just don't think he has the anti wrestling to stop Gamrot's takedowns. Like, he has decent anti wrestling, you know, decent takedown defense, but against a guy like Gamrot, one of the best wrestlers in the division, I don't think it's going to hold up. So I think Gamrot smudge decision. Unfortunately, because Rivix, I think he can go far. He's a great striker. One of the most fun fighters in the UFC. So I hope he wins. I'm not seeing the vision. Next up, we got Randy Bumbleclot Brown versus Kevin Holland. We have a D-Rod victim versus a Nico Price victim. This is high level stuff, folks. These guys, I think even the odds reflect it. Like, this is a pretty even fight because you cannot trust Kevin Holland to win a fight. On paper, Kevin Holland should smoke Randy Brown. Like, Kevin Holland is a significantly better fighter than Randy Brown. But you don't know what version of Kevin Holland you're going to get. For all we know, it could be the D-Rod version that's just going to get pieced up by an absolute nobody. Like, dude, he bailed D-Rod out of a Mexican prison because he wanted to fight him again. Like, even he knows he should not have lost to D-Rod, dude. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to go with Kevin Holland just because I think, I'm going to regret picking Kevin Holland. He's one of those guys you cannot bet on him, you cannot count on him. And I'm going to regret this. But I'm picking Kevin Holland because I think he has the potential to be so much better than Randy Brown. And I think even on his worst day, he still can compete with Randy Brown. But on his best day, it's a round one submission. So we'll see how it goes. It's a hard fight to predict. Kevin Holland's very unknown, but I think he's going to pull it out anyway. Speaking of unknown, we have Glass Cannon Aaron Pico versus Patricio Pitbull. We got the Bellator fight. Pico's a huge favorite, and everyone's like, why is he such a big favorite? Because I think Pico is significantly more skilled than Pitbull. Like, I think he's stronger, more explosive, more athletic. Even better on the feet, obviously better on the ground. But the problem is, a slight gust of wind will knock him out, and that's why a lot of people are picking Pitbull. Because I can see this going either way. I think Pico can grind him out, ground and pound finish, or even win a decision. Because I don't think Pitbull will win a decision. I think Pitbull has to knock him out. Because I think Pico's that much better than him. Because, I mean, you look at Pico's last fight, before he was brutally knocked out cold and had 5 years taken off his life, he was looking good. He was doing better against Lerone Murphy, or comparable against Lerone Murphy to Mobzar. Obviously, a pretty limited sample size. It didn't go all the way. And, Pico, another, kind of like Kevin Holland, potential man. Like, he could be so good, but he just gets hit and he goes out. Like, you look at his record, he's lost to literal nobodies. Like, the bouncer at your local bar he lost to. I mean, and Pitbull, more experience. You know what you're going to get from Pitbull. A little more consistent. I'm going to pick Pitbull, even though I think Aaron Pico is significantly better. I'm picking Pitbull just because I think that consistency, the exact opposite of Kevin Holland. I'm picking him for the consistency. Because I think there's more unknowns with Aaron Pico than there are with Kevin Holland. Because it was a flush spinning elbow. That would put most people out. So, Honestly, I'm convincing myself of Pico now, but I'm gonna stick to the guns. I think Pitbull. I I mean, also this is not a minus 300 fight. Yeah, Pico's not minus 300. He's not that close of a fight. Pitbull, he's old, he's on the decline, but he doesn't suck. He's not bad. And I think he can find that shot against Pico and win it. Next up, we have what's going to be the fight of the night. Like, I would bet significant amount of money this is going to be the fight of the night. Cub Swanson versus Nate Landwehr. Cub Swanson retirement fight. I think he's the last WEC fighter in the UFC. Because that obviously that Nick Diaz return never really panned out. So I think he's the last of a dying breed. Um, had a good knockout against Billy Q in his last fight in Tampa. Um, and Nate the Train, dude. If as he said, what did he say? He said, "If I don't lose, I'm gonna win," or something along those lines. You have to put Nate the Train out cold, otherwise he's gonna come back and just dog on you. I mean, the dude is awesome. I met him. Don't want to brag. I met Nate the Train. I got a picture with him. I'm close with the fighters like that. I know him like that. I call him Nate. I'm on a first name basis. um, but this is a tough fight. I don't think Cub Swanson can put out Nate the Train. I think Nate the Train is going to eat some shots. Cub Swanson's going to kind of gas from hitting him so much. Nate the Train, he's going to look like he's done, and then he's going to come back and just beat the shit out of Cub Swanson. Hopefully they give Cub Swanson a good retirement package because, he deserves one more than Michelle Watterson, Gomez, Michael Chiesa, and Anthony Smith. Like, this is an actual legend of the sport. And, but I think Nate the Train's going to spoil the retirement. I love this guy. Like, I love Nate the Train. I think he's winning this. Obviously, I could be biased, but I do think he's going to win. Next up, we got the Goofy Goofball Knockout Fest. I would like to see the odds for this to go to decision because it's probably like plus 5,000. Like, it's ridiculous. It's the Battle of the Chins. Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. Honestly, it's an interesting fight. I think Dominic Reyes has the better accuracy and the better power. I think he can find Johnny Walker's chin more easily. But Johnny Walker, he has that X factor. He can win or lose any fight. The dude could beat John Jones. Or I was going to say, or lose to Anthony Smith, but he beat Anthony Smith. I was actually at that fight. Not to brag. I know these fighters. Me and Johnny Walker were buds. I call him John, you know. But Johnny Walker, the goofy goofball style, you never know. He's a goofy goober. He's either, 360 spinning kick to the head to knock him out, or he's going to trip over his own feet and run into the cage and knock himself out. I think Dominic Reyes is the safe choice here just because the more orthodox style can find the chin more easily. And in a fight like this, it is going to be who finds the chin first is going to win. Um, you know, I Dominic Reyes, dude, it's a very sad career. Everyone, people have talked about this to exhaustion. Like, he beat John Jones. Like, if you watch that fight, it is so obvious that he won. Like, there is no argument John won that fight. He should be champ, and you know, he should have smoked that little drug addicted wife beater. And also, he's the only light heavyweight younger than John Jones that John Jones ever fought. Like, maybe I'll do another video about how I hate John Jones. I mean, the dude he's so annoying. But speaking of annoying, great little segue here. Josh Hokett versus Curtis Blades. Dude, what is Hokett on? What is this guy on? He's like, if you haven't seen the presser, look it up. This guy's playing a character. It's like a mix of a stereotypical Mexican mixed with Macho Man Randy Savage mixed with like asthma. And then he has his Josh persona, which is like a parody of himself where he's like an incel. Uh, it's it's bizarre. It's kind of cringe, but at the same time, that's what makes it really funny. Like he was talking to Sanko on the weigh-in show, and he was like, Laura, uh, 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 I don't play chess, but I know I know a queen when I see one. And he was like, I'm sorry if I made it awkward. I'm sorry. Like it's pretty funny. Like having, two different characters. Like everyone says it's cringe. The cringe is what makes it funny. Like you people don't understand comedy. I think it's gold. I think it's so funny. It's entertaining. But as for the fight, I think Blades is gonna win. I think this is too much too soon for Hokit. You know, and even in Blades' last fight, he didn't look great. He arguably should have lost to Guniev. But I think Blades has the perfect style to stifle Hokit because he can actually wrestle. Like there are so many guys that they could choose that Hokit would just steamroll, and I think Blades is one of them that he can't. Like I want Hokit to win because I think it's better for the division. You guys are gonna hate me because everyone loves Curtis Blades, but I think having an actual athlete, he was in the NFL, he was a D1 All American, or maybe not All American, maybe not D1, but he was a college wrestler. He was good. Like this guy's an actual athlete. That's exactly what heavyweight needs. It needs some legitimacy, especially. And then with Gable coming up, I think he said he's going to debut soon, definitely by the end of the year. But I think they need as many legitimate athletes in heavyweight as they can, especially with Pereira moving up, especially if they want to make Tom Aspinall the star that he can be. And obviously, Aspinall's kind of. I wouldn't say Aspinall's pissing away. It was more Surreal God pissing it away, but, heavyweight's a mess, and it's only getting worse by the day. So I think the division kind of needs Hokit to win this. I don't think he will, because, like, Blades isn't Denzel Freeman. You're not going to knock him out with a middle finger. You're not going to steamroll him. If Gilton Almeida can't smudge him, I don't think Hokit will. And I think Hokit's even worse on the feet. So I think anywhere this fight goes, Hokit's going to get hit, probably get finished. But at the same time, it's heavyweight. There's always a chance. Anyone can beat anyone. But I'm going Blades by knockout. Another interesting fight. This whole card is just, it's a nice card. I wish I could have been there in person. But Mirzakhanov versus Costa. Costa's moving up to light heavyweight. At first glance, Mirzakhanov should knock out Costa. Costa, his last light heavyweight fight, he lost to Starvin Marvin, dude. He lost to Marvin Vittori. And Mirzakhanov ain't no Marvin Vittori. But when you look deeper, Costa has a great chin. I think only Izzy's knocked him out. Moving up to light heavyweight's going to affect that because this is a pretty big jump, and these guys do hit significantly harder, especially Mirzakhanov. The guy's a knockout artist. But also, Mirzakhanov is very old. I think he's listed at 36, but you look at the guy, there might be some shenanigans. He might not be 36. This guy might be 40. Um, does it say his age on here? Yeah, 36. Costa's 34. Costa looked really good against Kopylov. He has a lighter man's skill. Mirzakhanov's kind of ran. I'm not going to call Rakic a can, but it's a closer fight than first glance. And Costa very well can win this. A lot of fighters on this card. Potential, man. Paulo Costa could be so good. But Izzy just broke him, and he has not been the same since that fight. The same as Randy Brown, same as, even Johnny Walker, same as who else is on here? A lot of people. If Paulo Costa fights like he can fight, he's going to run through Mirzakhanov. He's going to, knock him out. but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Mirzakhanov either a really dominant decision or he's going to knock out Costa. Costa has a great chin, so I'm not gonna predict a knockout. But if anyone's gonna do it, it's Mirzakhanov. And that's who I'm picking. What are the odds on this? Oh yeah, yeah. Mirzakhanov is a pretty significant favorite. Um, but I think that's fair odds. But it's winnable for Costa, but I don't think he's gonna get it done. You can't really trust him. And the main event, vacant light heavyweight championship. As we know, Poatan moving up to fight for the interim heavyweight title at the White House, and so in the meantime, you got the next two up, or not even the meantime. I doubt Alex is ever going to move back down. I think if he loses to the Frenchman, I'm not even going to say his name. He's a dirty cheat. If he loses to the Frenchman, I don't know what he does. I mean, I think he should either retire or get like a big, fun send off fight against Izzy, where they both retire because their careers are so connected, especially in the UFC. Izzy's the reason Alex is, in the UFC in the first place. Obviously, Alex would take his freaking head off at light heavyweight, or even, I don't know if he's going to go back down to light heavyweight. He weighed in at like 250. He posted on his Instagram, I believe. He's at like 250 pounds. The dude is bubbling up. So I don't even think he'd go back down to 205 if he tried. And I mean, at light heavyweight, heavyweight, catch weight, he's going to take Izzy's head off. So I don't think that's very realistic because it would not be a fun fight for Adesanya or his fans. That would be a cool send off, assuming he does lose to Gon, which I don't think he will. But I think that would be a fun retirement for both of them. But as for the fight at hand, this is a very interesting fight. I'm very excited for this because this is a fight where both guys are going to be able to get off their game plan. Because Jiri obviously loves moving forward and Ulberg loves counter striking. So this is going to be two guys, in their element fighting their fight. It's not gonna. There's no, will he be able to take him down? Will he be able to keep it standing? No, both of these guys are in their wheelhouse. So the winner of this fight is truly the best striker, the best fighter. Yuri's going to try to move forward, um, eat some shots. The more he gets damaged, the better he fights. Like it's really weird to see. You watch his fights against what was it, UFC 300? That was against Rakic, right? And then his fight against Khalil, like he was getting battered, but just the more he gets hurt, the madder he gets, and then he finds the finish as these guys are fading and getting tired, he's only getting stronger. So it's very interesting. Ulberg, he used to be kind of a dog, but in recent fights he's become kind of a point fighter. Counter strikes, waits for his opportunity, flashes the leg kick. Um, he knocked out Reyes, but we knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. Actually, I predicted that. I said first round knockout. I have no way to prove this, but I did. Um, but Yuri is not Reyes. He's not going to crumble at the first clean shot. Um, Yuri thrives on eating shots. He's only been knocked out by King Mo and Pereira, and Ulberg is not King Mo or Pereira. He hits hard, but I don't think he hits harder than a Jamal Hill or a Khalil Roundtree. And Yuri beat both of them. I I don't I don't think Ulberg's gonna be able to find the knockout. I think he's gonna get swarmed, and I think Yuri's gonna find the finish, probably third round or so. But I do think Ulberg can win. There is a road to victory for Ulberg, which is also what makes this so fun. If Ulberg can keep his distance, circle, um, beat up Yuri's leg, because in that Rakic fight, Yuri's leg would like his leg was compromised. To quote Joe Rogan, against Khalil, his leg was getting beat up. But it just seems like that damage doesn't affect Yuri. It just makes him angry. But I think think against Ulberg it's different. I think his control of distance is much better. He's more technical. He's bigger, rangier. So I think if he beats up that front leg and can draw Jiri into a shot while Yuri's limping and can't move as well, because Jiri very much thrives on having fluid motion, leaning in, wibbling, wobbling, ducking, and having your leg kicked out will make that slower, which will help Ulberg find that shot because Yuri's going to be moving forward regardless. So if Ulberg can really compromise the front leg, I think he can find the shot. I don't think he has the power, big enough power to count on that to predict that. He could win a decision. He beats up the front leg so Yuri can't come in as quickly and, he just pitter pats him at range for 5 rounds. That could happen, but I don't think it will. I think Yuri's too much of a dog. I think he's that much better than everyone else in the division except for Pereira. So I'm going to predict him by round 3 knockout. Overall, this is an awesome card. I'm very excited for it. Breath of fresh air after the Apex card, which the fights weren't bad. It just was a really irrelevant card. So I'll come back tomorrow or Sunday and tell y'all what I think about the results. So I'll see you.